It's very much like when Michael Scott, when he's like, most of the time I don't know what I'm saying. It just kind of comes out like he's just improvising as he goes. And
Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way. Like an improv conversation. Improvisation.
Public speaking. Just hearing those words can feel very overwhelming, I'm sure, for many of us. And if you're anything like me, the thought of giving a presentation or a speech can make your heart race. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be that way? I've been working in education for the past 5 years or so, and that meant I had to speak a lot in front of students, and sometimes I still get nervous today. I generally feel comfortable speaking in front of others, but I really have been wanting to improve my public speaking capabilities for a while now. I see myself working in diplomacy or governmental organizations where I will need to speak on behalf of other people very clearly, concisely, confidently, and I need to improve my public speaking in that case. I've witnessed dozens of students give presentations. Some were not good, some were very good, and I realize how important it is to teach this skill to younger generations, so I want to pass down my knowledge and also document and show you how I've been improving my public speaking for the past 2 weeks.
I'll be going back and forth giving tips and sharing my progress with writing a speech that I presented for my public speaking club. In this first part, I was sharing my thoughts the night before my first speech.
I didn't put too much thought into my first speech because I knew it's going to be my first speech. I think what matters more is the way I project myself and the way I present myself to my audience. Because you can have very simple vocabulary, I personally think, and sound really amazing.
One of the ways I wanted to improve my public speaking is by joining a Toastmasters club. And if you've never heard of Toastmasters, it's an international club where people basically work on their public speaking skills. It has a structure, and people normally give speeches, or there's also the table topics portion of the meeting where you're prompted with a random question. It could be about anything. Normally there's a theme. For example, I led these questions once as a table topics master, and my theme was school. So I asked school-related questions like, what was your favorite subject in school? Or if you were to go back to school again, what subject do you think students should know? One of my really good friends joined a Toastmasters club, and I saw how much he progressed in his public speaking capabilities, and it inspired me to improve my own.
One of the things I struggle with is sounding eloquent as I speak. And in this case, I'm about to show you how I'm doubting what I had already written for my speech.
And I want to say, so originally the statement is, I was lacking a healthy body, so I nurtured it. I did everything in my power to nurture it with plenty of nutrients, and I pushed myself to move and play every day. But I want to be a little bit more eloquent with it and kind of create a... See, it's happening again to me. Create a juxtaposition. For example, I'm saying from panic to peace, from loneliness to solitude, and from gasping to insert positive word about breathing a lot. So I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what it says as a suggestion. By the way, my topic of my speech, it's an icebreaker. So in Toastmasters terms. That just means you're introducing yourself to the audience, and I am discussing something I haven't shared too much about on the internet, but I have a chronic illness that I was recently diagnosed with in like 3 years ago now. So I'm sharing my experience with that and kind of how I transformed my mindset and my body. And I don't know, I'm like, the topic feels kind of cheesy to me in a way, but I also know like these types of stories are very impactful and very powerful, and they are inspiring to me personally. So
as I was writing my speech, I was thinking of how I wanted to come across. In this next part, I'm describing what I think is the best mindset for creating a speech.
This is the mindset I recommend others to have when preparing and giving a speech. I don't know if this already exists. This is something I just thought about as I was preparing to make this video. It's the 3 C's: clear, concise, and confident. This is a pattern I've noticed amongst some of the best public speakers. For number 1, clear, I recommend avoid using superfluous words. So rather than focus on sounding academic or cool, focus on having a clear message. Like, what do you want the audience to take away from your speech? Is it motivational? Is it educational or informative? Are you persuading them to do something? Are you giving them a call to action? Number 2 is concise. I have a habit of babbling, and I could continue babbling on if I was allowed to. So again, to reiterate my first point, focus on your main message first and then embellish it through storytelling. So besides just making the main point, how can you embellish it without being too much? And number 3, confidence. I think this is all about the way you present yourself, using your tone, your eye contact, body language, and even manipulating your voice. So my specific goals related to public speaking, I wanted to improve my vocabulary, reduce filler words, and use my storytelling abilities and staying concise. My goal was to write and give a ideally 5 to 7 minute speech, but I realized later on that this speech had to be 4 to 6 minutes. So I was a little bit over, but we'll get into that later. I personally believe that I'm a good writer, but not necessarily the best public speaker. I have spoken professionally once before, and I've been paid to speak in front of other people before, which is an opportunity that not many people get. So I'm very thankful for that. I had to speak for my college once on a previous job position I held there, which was a great opportunity for me. I also decided to pay attention to the way people speak on YouTube more often, especially becoming a content creator. I have been noticing the way people present themselves online much more often, because there's, I think this has to do a lot with branding, like how do you want to present yourself to other people? And some people put in a lot of effort into that versus not so much effort. And there's no right or wrong way, but I'm trying to figure out how I want to show up in the online space. So that's one way I am trying to improve my public speaking. And I've also been watching TED Talks in my free time. There's this one TED Talk called How to Use Family Dinner to Teach Politics by Hajar Sharif. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but she was actually part of the program that I participated in several years ago, in a different year, not when I was working. But she has a fantastic TED Talk. and I aimed to use some of her. I watched the way she presented herself, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to come off as very eloquent and concise, just like how she did. And I'll put the link in the description in case you're interested in seeing her talk. My progress writing a speech. Writing a speech is not an entirely new thing for me. Like I said before, I have been paid to speak in front of people at my college where I talked about a program I worked for before. But it's been a while since I've done something like that. When I was working as a teacher, a lot of my speaking is done prepared. I consider myself a good writer, and essentially I have thought about public speaking as just me using my voice to say everything I write. And so working on the techniques to say things in a clear, concise, and confident way is what I've been trying to do.
After giving some tips, here's me debriefing my thoughts after giving my first speech.
Hey everyone, I just finished giving my speech. I just got home. We normally go out later for drinks and like little appetizers. So I just got home from that, so it's like 10 p.m. now. I thought I would debrief as I get ready for bed. And I had a great first speech, but I totally forgot to have someone record it for me. So that kind of sucks. I'm a little mad at myself for forgetting that, but it's okay. I am very happy with how it went. I felt very confident and I wasn't super nervous. I just wanted to come off confident and not have a shaky voice, which I think I did. And I got a lot of really cool comments. I'll share them with you in a little bit. And so the way Toastmaster works, there's an evaluator if you give a speech. So I got evaluated by one of my members, the president of our club, and he gave me such a very nice evaluation and challenged me to take parts of my speech here to talk about in my next speech. And I think that's a great idea. I definitely want to do that. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm feeling very confident about myself. Oh, I don't know. I touched the mic. I'm going to repeat that. I'm feeling very confident about how it went. And I think my weakness is that I didn't really manipulate my voice much. I felt the need to like finish it quickly because technically the icebreaker, which is your first speech, is supposed to be between 4 and 6 minutes. And I knew mine, every time I had recorded mine, it was 7 minutes long. So I was like, I need to finish it soon. But apparently I was only at 6 minutes and 15 seconds. So that's good. What I really need to work on though is kind of like spontaneous talking. Another part of the meeting is we do table topics, where this week's theme was knowledge and wonder, which was a really cool topic. And normally you get asked a random question that you don't really have time to like prepare for in your head. And so you talk about it. You answer your question in like 2 to 3 minutes. So in this case, today's meeting, we did knowledge and wonder for each of us. Like, what is something that you're really knowledgeable about, and what is something you're wondering about? And I talked about languages
which I am glad I talked about. But I feel like I am always amazed to see the older members of this group. They are always able to conclude their table topics so precisely, and most of the time I feel like I'm just like, so yeah. You know, I don't actually end like that, but I would like to sound a bit more eloquent. So yeah, and I'm also trying to reduce my ums and filler words. I only had 2 ums during my speech and 1 during my table topic response. So I am very glad about that. Okay, I'm back again. I have all the little stickers that people wrote me, and they said things like powerful, oh good. And then Angeline, wow, great. Honestly can't read the handwriting. You really poured your heart into the speech. Well-rounded speech, thoughtful, personal, educational. I think your tone was great. Very good speech, upbeat and inspiring and revealing, and very good, exciting delivery. Good intro to topic, good story and education on your topic. Great conclusion and bringing the intro back to the end. Good and consistent pace. Would work on tonality or exclaiming or focusing on a specific word in a sentence to give it stronger meaning, which I totally agree with. Angeline, what a beautiful speech. Great flow and well thought out. Happy you're feeling much better. So I think I totally agree with all of these comments, and that I didn't do too much tonality because I was focused on trying to finish it quickly, which I don't have to. It's not like there are consequences for that. You don't need to be on time because we're there just to listen. But yeah, my evaluation. And then this was my part of my speech. One thing I've learned so far about writing a speech, and rather than writing it traditionally like in blocks, this is something I learned from copywriting, that you should write it just line by line instead. You know, there's not huge chunks of lines here because it's much easier to read, especially if you're even like farther away. Reading it is, you don't get lost in the block of words. So that's one of my tips so far that I've learned, and this formatting really helped me out. And I tried not to refer too much to my notes, but I think I did look quite a bit. But next time I definitely want to try not looking at them often. But I'm super happy, and I hope I can fall asleep after this adrenaline high of just getting complimented so much. So that the first speech is down. I'm feeling good. Thank you to everyone who's helped me out so far, and I can't wait to practice more. I really want to talk. I want to be able to discuss something that I don't know very well in a clear and concise way. Like, for example, I don't know, a policy out of here. I don't know. We'll see.
Like I mentioned, I forgot to take an official video of me presenting the speech in front of everyone since I was a bit nervous. I do have this video here of me practicing my speech, but I'm not exactly comfortable yet to share it online. But I just wanted to let you know and show you that I practiced my speech at least like 7 different times before giving it so that I could memorize the main parts. Public speaking can be challenging, but it's something we can all do. It just takes practice. I hope you learned something or felt inspired to try public speaking yourself, whether through a local club or on your own. One of the final thoughts I shared through my speech was, whenever we're faced with a challenge, we can stop looking at it like it's something that's happening to us, and instead look at it as something that's happening for you. And don't forget to just breathe.
This video helped you, especially if you have an event, a presentation, or a social gathering to speak at. If you have any other public speaking tips, please leave them down below so I can continue learning myself. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I try to publish videos every Thursday, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.